Today we are going to be learning about how you should show and explain your work for an open-ended math question. So our math question today is, Amy and Jason are preparing pieces of rope for a school project. Letter A, the first part. Amy had 15 yards of rope. She made pieces of rope that were 5/8 of a yard long. How many pieces did she make? Explain your work. So what we're going to need to do is figure out how many pieces of rope she was able to make that were 5/8 of a yard long out of 15 yards of rope. So we have to divide 15 divided by 5/8. In order to divide a fraction, we have to do the same change flip. So I'm going to keep 15, but since we're going to be working with fractions, I'm going to put it over 1, change the division sign to multiplication, and flip 5/8 to 8/5. This is the reciprocal of 5/8. That equals 120 over 5, because when you're multiplying fractions, you multiply the numerators together. So 15 times 8 equals 120, and then you multiply the denominators together. 1 times 5 equals 5. This is an improper fraction. 120 over 5 is an improper fraction. So we now have to divide the denominator into the numerator. So 5, we have to divide 120 divided by 5. 5 goes into 120 24 times total. So that would be my answer. Amy made 24 pieces of rope. That's the answer. But now I have to explain it because it says explain your work. So you're going to write down everything that you did. I divided the length of rope by the fraction. So here's the length of rope by the fraction. I divided the length of rope by the fraction to find the number of pieces of rope. To divide, I multiplied the whole number, which was this, 15, but we had to put it over 1. I multiplied the whole number by the reciprocal. This is the reciprocal of the fraction. Okay? Then I'm going to show it again. 15 divided by 5/8 equals 15 times 8 over 5 equals 120 over 5, and when you work that out, you get 24. So she made 24 pieces that each used 5/8 yards of rope. This is what you need to do to explain an answer to an open-ended problem. You have to say exactly what you did. And if you flip a fraction or find its reciprocal, you have to state that you multiplied the number by the reciprocal of the fraction. Now there's a part B to this problem. Part B says, Jason made pieces of rope that were 2/3 of a yard long. He made 21 pieces. Who used more yards of rope? Show your work and explain why you did each step. So you have to show your work and then explain. So we have to take, we know we made 21 pieces, so we have to take 21 and turn it into a fraction by putting it over 1 and then multiplying it by 2/3 because he made his pieces that were 2/3 of a yard long. When we're multiplying fractions, you have to multiply the numerators together, so 21 times 2 equals 42, and then you multiply the denominators. 1 times 3 equals 3. So our answer is 42/3, which is an improper fraction. So we have to divide the denominator into the numerator. So 42 divided by 3 equals 14. So Amy used more rope because let me go back here. To find the length of rope Jason used, I multiplied the number of pieces Jason made by the length of each piece. So he used 21 pieces, and the length that he used for each piece was 2/3 of a yard, which equals 42/3, and that equals 14. So Jason used 14 yards of rope. Then I compared the lengths of rope Jason and Amy used. Amy used 15 yards, which is more than the 14 yards Jason used. So when we're responding to an open-ended question and it says to show your work, you have to be sure to show your work and then explain it by writing down every step that you completed to answer the question.